You won't believe how these 8 WCW wrestlers transformed the art of the promo and left an unforgettable mark on wrestling history. Stay tuned to discover who changed the game forever. The talking aspect of wrestling is arguably the most important path towards success. Most wrestlers learn how to hit cool moves along the way or gain the athletic ability to become a great in-ring performer. Talking and creating promos, however, requires a more layered skill set on the character side of professional wrestling. WCW had their fair share of wrestlers who got over solely because of the talking side of their character and personality. Legends such as Ric Flair and Diamond Dallas Page were able to cut strong promos, but their in-ring work helped their cause along the way. Each of the following wrestlers from WCW found themselves getting over with the fans due to their promos. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. In today's video we're counting down the 8 wrestlers in WCW who got over thanks to their promos. Welcome to the club. Now, in number 8 we start with Roddy Piper, who was carried by his promos in his later years. However, WCW fans were still excited to see the legend debuting there. The success of Hulk Hogan and the New World Order required WCW to develop enough top baby faces to challenge him. Roddy Piper, appearing at the end of 1996 after an inconsistent couple of years transitioning outside of the ring. Whether they were sloppy, reckless matches or just plain tough, these wrestlers did bring some danger towards WCW. Bringing in the big name value who can get you a lot of pay-per-view buys but maybe won't deliver the most exciting matches. WWE placed Piper in an authority figure and commentary roles, and that led to him leave for pastures new, and decided to go for another wrestling run in WCW. Piper did lose a few steps in the ring for mostly bad matches, as you'd expect when you get up there in years, but fans didn't really care, since his promos calling out Hogan rallied the fans behind the Rowdy Scott. In number 7, we have Paul Heyman, who started his legendary managing career in WCW, as he managed the Dangerous Alliance faction, which created a legacy. WCW was the first major promotion to book Paul Heyman as a manager. Paulie Dangerously was the name used to manage the Dangerous Alliance faction, a stacked group that featured names such as Rick Rude, a little-known wrestler such as Steve Austin, not quite sure whatever happened to him, Arn Anderson, and Medusa, to name but a few, and they all worked closely with Heyman. The promo segments from Heyman as their official talker helped the Dangerous Alliance get over as a heel group. WCW trusted them enough to be the heel side of arguably the greatest War Games match ever against Sting's Squadron. WCW would make the foolish mistake of releasing Paul, and he would take his ability to cut good promos on the mic and his cutting-edge style to Philadelphia into Extreme Championship Wrestling, or as it was known then, Eastern Championship Wrestling. In number 6, we have Medusa, who had an infamous promo with the WWE belt, and her return promo made Medusa feel extremely important. WCW never really had a serious women's division last long, but they did give it a good go when Medusa made the best possible return to the promotion during the Monday Night Wars. Medusa was still the WWF Women's Champion at the time, as when she was under Blaze. However, when her contract expired, she still had hold of the belt. So Eric Bischoff talked Medusa into bringing the belt together, as I imagine when he told her he clapped his hands together like it was double pudding Sunday. And he decided to throw it into the trash during a shocking promo. Medusa was over for such a wild and historic segment, and really made WCW feel that the land that anything can happen, as it was live at the time. So it really made it feel unique and different to what WWE was putting out at the time. However, WCW failed to book the women's division with credibility for that momentum to end quickly. The only real negative you've got about this promo is the only thing apparently she does now. She turns up, fishes the belt out of the trash or puts it into the trash, and then that's Medusa's appearance. In number 5, we have Chris Jericho, who didn't actually really get over in WCW until he found his personality, as him having fantastic matches in the Cruiserweight division with dry character work wasn't really working. Chris Jericho would have been over from day ones if fans only cared about match quality in WCW. Those matches from Jericho were great in the early months of him joining World Championship Wrestling, but his generic babyface act wasn't getting him over. WCW decided to turn Jericho heel, and this changed everything, as he started to cut promos. Jericho claimed that there was a conspiracy against him, and this led to many great promos to become a top cruiserweight and a mid-carder. This was the time that fans realised Jericho had the potential for a much higher ceiling, and that higher ceiling would come in WWE, where he would win the world title on a few different occasions. Here at number 4, we have Larry Zisco, who not only has a name that seems like it's straight out of the X-Men comics, but he managed to get over in WCW as a commentator, as he had a second unexpected stint in the ring challenging the New World Order. Nobody could have expected colour commentator Larry Zisco to become a top rival to the New World Order at their hottest, but it happened by chance. Zisco had a legendary career that included peaks in the previous decade, great feuds against legends such as Bruno Sammartino and several other fantastic Hall of Fame worthy competitors. However, he decided to slowly move into commentary when his body started to catch up on him. WCW had him wrestling in the early 1990s, but fans didn't seem to care about the legend anymore. So Zisco transitioned into commentary, and he would talk all night on commentary and started to cut unexpected, really good promos, running down the New World Order, and this led him to getting over enough to warrant a necessary match against Scott Hall in the ring. In number 3, we have Buff Bagwell, whose strong suit was his fantastic heel promos, and this did more on the mic than in the ring for WCW. Buff the Stuff Bagwell was surprisingly one of the most longest tenured wrestlers in World Championship Wrestling history. The angle of him joining the New World Order led to Bagwell getting more microphone time. Buff playing an obnoxious, over-the-top heel felt like his peak character. WCW continued to give Buff more consistent talking time, and this led to him reaching the most over stage in wrestling. The matches of Bagwell typically disappointed compared to his promos. Buff becoming a better talker was a huge reason for why the Mrs. Judy Bagwell's baby boy became as relevant as he did in WCW's final years. In number 2, we have Missy Hyatt, who was one of WCW's first great managers, and she proved that non-wrestlers could thrive in the Atlanta-based organization's landscape. Miss Elizabeth was considered the first major valet since she took part in WWE's main event angles, including the main event of SummerSlam 1988, the main event of Survivor Series that same year, and the WrestleMania 5. However, Missy Hyatt was right there with her, despite her success mostly coming in promotions outside of WWE. WCW witnessed Missy getting over as a heel personality with her promos and presentation. Hyatt helped other wrestlers get over with her talking and character work. WWE writing history sees Missy not discussed nearly as much as she should be for her impact in professional wrestling. And number 1, we have Hollywood Hulk Hogan, which managed to give Hulk Hogan another all-time run, this time as a heel. Not only did the Hulkster become one of WCW and wrestling as a whole's best heels after a legendary babyface stint, he also became one of the most important wrestlers of all time again. WCW took one of the biggest risks in wrestling history by turning Hulk Hogan heel. The industry witnessed Hogan becoming the greatest babyface attraction for over a full decade, but by 1995, WCW fans were sick of Hulk Hogan. They were getting sick of taking their vitamins and saying their prayers. They were sick of the yellow and red. The only yellow and red they wanted to see was at their local McDonald's, not on their wrestling screens. So, Hogan had a choice to make. Get over again when turn heel, or stick as a babyface and get resoundingly booed out of the building, like he did on the debut episode of Raw, for those of you who saw that. He decided to go for the former choice, ironically enough, and he decided to rebrand as Hollywood Hogan. The New World Order became the hottest act in wrestling and made wrestling mainstream water cooler conversation, and this was thanks to Hogan leading the way. Most of Hogan's matches were awful in WCW. Just look at the main event of Starrcade 1997, Halloween Havoc 1998, to name but a few. But the talking with his new heel character carried him to more historic success. And there you have it, there's our list. So I'd just like to say, Honor Wrestling Club fans, Thank you for sticking around until the end of this video. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, be sure to slash that like button and let us know in the comments down below, as your feedback means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a new video we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Share this video around with your friends and fellow wrestling enthusiasts. Let's grow Honor Wrestling Club community together. So again, I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay awesome and welcome to the club.